Oh, what's good, people? Episode 3 here of the Ajay Rose Show. We got another brilliant guest for you. Thanks for all the support in the previous episodes. That's appreciated. Keep streaming it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. I still haven't put it on Amazon yet. Apologies for the small percentage of people that listen on Amazon. But yeah, cool. Today's guest. What can I say about today's guest? Brilliant comedian, Amazon special. When you type in the word Michael O into Amazon, he's the third Michael O that comes up.
The third one?
The third one. After Michael O'Hare and Michael Owen.
I didn't know that. Well, we'll try and change that algorithm-wise.
Yeah, one day we're going to get you to the first Michael O. He's got a Wikipedia page. It's none other than Michael Odewale.
Oh, wow. Wow, what an intro. I felt like a guest pastor at church, just having all the blessings weighing down before I deliver my sermon. And I appreciate you. But what's going on with Amazon, though? Why am I the third name? I would have thought I had the Michael O just sort of down.
Yeah, I thought that as well.
Michael O.D.
I don't know who that is.
No, O.D. Once you put in Michael and then O.D., I should be the top name after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's O'Hare. I don't know who Michael O'Hare is either.
Okay.
I know Michael Owen.
The plan is to be the top Michael O within the next 5 years.
And then top Michael.
Oh, nah. Well, I mean...
There's a lot of Michael.
Who have I got to beat? I got to beat Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Jackson. Dapper. I'm not even the top black Michael comedian in the UK. So, we got to change that.
We got to change that, bro. Go stream his Amazon special. I think it might be done on however much those other Michaels get watched.
Okay, so like I was not watched as much as Michael O'Hare. We don't even know who that is.
I have no idea who Michael O'Hare is. I saw that and I was like, right, he must be pop. I think he's ahead of Owen.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, go wherever Michael O'Hare does, just give it some dislikes on the Amazon platform. Just sort of flood it with thumbs down.
What are you saying about Michael Owen? Or are we keeping that neutral? Or?
Do you know what? Michael Owen gets a lot of hate for being quite boring. But I heard like he's a good family man. Yeah. Ballon d'Or winner. Daughter was on Love Island. Didn't he win the Ballon d'Or?
I thought he won the Golden Boy.
I thought he won the Ballon d'Or 2001.
I thought it was the Golden Boy. It might be Ballon d'Or. I could be wrong.
You forget how Michael Owen was.
They changed the names.
Yeah.
I think he won World Footballer of the Year and then they just made it sound mad bougie with Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, but Michael Owen gets a reputation for being boring. There's nothing wrong with being boring.
I think he's into like horses and gambling and that.
Horses and gambling?
Yeah.
That's pretty rock star.
He's got a little eccentric side that Amazon are clearly not promoting.
They're not promoting in that
Michael
documentary.
O'Hare is ahead of this guy.
Oh my goodness, but one day, yeah, man, I'll go watch my special if you haven't seen it and give that some upvotes. Give that some thumbs up.
I don't know if you can upvote.
I don't know if you can either.
You can, bro.
Find out. Just
Reddit.
Take a screenshot or a picture of you putting your thumbs up next to the screen of my special.
Tag Amazon.
And tag me as well. But not Amazon Podcast, because nobody listens to that clearly, as you said.
Well, I don't know, because I might... This actually could be on Amazon by the time you listen.
But there's no one listen. No one... Who's on Amazon Podcast, bro?
I don't know.
I've been paid by Amazon, and I don't think anyone... I'm not promoting Amazon Podcast.
You say you're not a fan of Deezer?
Deezer, oh my gosh, can you imagine? That's an ick right there. Imagine... Girl tried to play your song and it was on Deezer.
Deezer.
I said, I got to
Google
go.
Music.
Google, that's not even the one.
It's not. Is that
I don't think that's... Amazon Music is the one.
No, it's YouTube Music.
Do you know what, though? I'm not against YouTube Music. I think it's just too expensive.
How much is it? It's like $9.99 a month.
It's like $13.99. If it was $9.99, I would use YouTube Music over Spotify.
So that £4, that's the difference for you?
Yeah. But it's like you get a lot, like, for example, no ads.
Yeah.
So the other day I was like trying to look up first aid.
Okay.
And there was an ad there.
First aid?
Yeah, I was just curious, like, because I almost choked on some cereal. So I was like, if I was home alone, how would I have, like, got that Cocoa Puff out my throat? How does a Cocoa Puff?
The worst thing to get, not even like golden nuggets.
It was like a congealed piece of like...
when it goes soggy.
Yeah, so it's...
That's soggy though, bro.
No, it was like it was in the middle. It was like 3 or 4 Cocoa Puffs pieces conjoined together to make one singular puff.
It sounded like you had like the little version with Cocoa Puffs.
It might have been. Listen,
the real ones are Cocoa Pops.
Times are tough. We don't judge people whether they get it brand or off brand, but I was like, after that ordeal, Home Alone, I was like, man, if I had tried to choke on that Cocoa Puffs, I was like, what would I have done? So I went and Googled like how to give yourself the Heimlich by yourself. But there's an ad.
There's an ad.
On the video.
Too late.
And the ad was for life insurance. I'm like, bro, what's going on here? Is that for the person who finds me dead? So now they know what policy?
The worst thing was, if that was a catastrophe and you said something like, I'm choking, help, the next person in your family to go on YouTube would then be shown adverts of choking.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
Just because the algorithm, we're living in a messed up society, man. The algorithms.
That shouldn't be the way it is.
But with YouTube Premium for $13.99 a month, I'm going to look in the camera, you can not die. And you can get straight access to how to give yourself the Heimlich maneuver if you live alone. So, your life, $13.99 a month, do you not value yourself for that much?
You don't get that with Deezer.
You don't get that with Deezer. You don't get that with YouTube. YouTube, they're doing they're testing us as a society. They're giving us free ads in a row.
Oh, they're taking the piss.
Free ads in a row.
It's not even skippable ads. It's like 20-second ads. And then they think they're being kind by the next one's only 15 seconds.
What's your least favorite ad? What's your most annoying ad?
That McDonald's ad.
Which one?
That new one where like there's two people in the office. They get out from their desk. They start moving their eyebrows up and then all the colleagues follow and they just start marching.
Oh,
it's
I've
quite a
seen
good
it.
ad. It's effective. But
why you just change your mind on it? It's like,
I can appreciate the ad, but it pisses me off. Like, it's annoying.
Did it make you want to get McDonald's?
I don't know. I think my desire for McDonald's wasn't really altered by the ad, but I just did appreciate that it makes people watch. I think with adverts, if it makes people watch.
Do you ever wonder that about ads sometimes? Like, some things are like so already ingrained in society, like McDonald's, that they don't need to advertise, but they do so heavily.
Yeah.
It makes you think about our own selves in terms of we don't really push ourselves enough. We should have the confidence of McDonald's or Apple to constantly bombard people.
Bro, I read this stat. Don't quote me on this. It's something along this lines of people need to be exposed to something 8 times before they buy it or engage with it.
Yeah, I think definitely it makes you think. Like, you got to push yourself the same way these brands do. They're not ashamed. McDonald's we know what their products are.
We know, bro.
I mean, every summer there'll be like a Texas barbecue thing that's only in that store for 3 weeks, but they know that most people are going for the staples.
I think they could, yeah.
But they still.
If you see 8 podcast clips from this episode, that's why, innit? That's why. If you're like, yo, why is this guy posting so much clip? It's because I know you're on clip number 4. You need 4 more, and then you're going to click full listen.
100%.
So, yeah.
Even with my comedy special that I did last year, because I dropped it last year, the other day I was going to like promote it. It's like, it's from last year. But like, so.
To promo that.
This is it's like an album cycle. Yeah. Back in the day, album cycles used to be long as hell. Like, used to be like a year long.
I'm be real, I feel you on that. When I do something, especially when I've invested time and money into it, I try and promo that as much as I can.
As much as you can.
Like, can't just be doing one little post or one little.
Do you know what I hate is when people are like, hey, I did a thing. Like, nah, man, with your chest.
With chest.
Say I made this thing, and because like if you're not proud of it, like how you gonna get people to enjoy it? You have to be proud of your work, I think.
You do, bro. So obviously you mentioned the special, yeah? But let's take it back to the start. Obviously you grew up in Dagenham.
Where we starting from?
We're starting from probably 18 onwards. No, in fact, younger. What was it like growing up in Dagenham? Like, what kind of wild stuff did you see growing up there?
Oh, wow. We going therapy. Dagenham, do you know what? Dagenham was a very uneventful place for me because I was born just after the crazy racist gang period. I was born in 95, and kind of Dagenham always had a reputation. Oh, you don't want to be black in Dagenham. Do you know what I mean? Back then. Now it's like you don't want to be black in Dagenham because of the lack of opportunities, but not because like you're going to be chased or stabbed. It's more just like, there's nothing to do.
Yeah,
just going to Central. But so yeah, Dagenham was always kind of. I still live there now. I can't talk about it like it's in the past, So it's definitely shaped me. But I still I don't know what part of Dagenham is in me still. Do you know what I mean?
But there's some part.
There must be heavily influenced by that place, but I couldn't really tell you how it's really made me the man I am.
Bro, have you seen Top Boy, the original one?
Yeah.
For some reason, when you say Dagenham, I just associate it with some random like shitty little beach, but I don't think there's a beach.
There's no beach in Dagenham. Nobody's
But in Top Boy,
it's not country lines
or something.
Yeah.
A little pebble beach.
Yeah, it's not country lines there. We're still London. It's like just on like the border. Dagenham is like, it's like nobody in Essex wants it. Nobody in London really wants it. So maybe that's how it shaped me in terms of being sort of outcast, having to make your own lane. Yeah, I just made up my backstory now. Let's go with that, man. Yeah. So Dagenham is kind of in that sense in terms of like people from Dagenham tend to be hustlers, you know.
So what do you do to hustle? Like what, before obviously now you do comedy and that, like what did you do to hustle to...
I've always been hustling jokes, man. Ever since I was young, man, I've always...
No, but what about when the jokes weren't paying? You must have done something.
Well, in my mid-20s, I used to work on a boat.
A boat?
Yeah.
What, on like the Thames?
The Thames Clipper boats.
What was you doing on this boat?
I was just selling tickets, telling people to, you can get on a boat. And my job was to promote the boat, but I'm not really like a hard promoter.
Like one of them club reps on them islands, like.
Nah, for me it's like, you already buy a pier. If you want to get on a boat, you probably know if you want to get on a boat. So I was just like, hey, there's the boat. If you want to, I'm not going to force you to get on a boat. That's illegal.
That is probably prohibited.
Do you know what I mean? We've seen what the border situation,
Yeah.
It's crazy out there. So I'm not going to promote that by forcing people on boats, even if it is just around the Thames.
The Thames,
Just around the... But, yeah. So I used to work there, and then I'd always carry a notepad, and I still do to this day, and I would just write jokes on the piers. It's real romantic, actually, just being my notepad on a pier, writing ideas, and and then eventually I quit, and now I do this full time.
Done this full time.
Can you believe it?
How did you kind of make a break? Because obviously with comedy, it's like, you kind of go through a period. Well, I like to think a lot of people do. I don't actually know how everything works, but this is just from what I've seen.
You don't know how everything works?
Not everything.
I'm disappointed in you. I thought AJ knows how everything works.
No, it's in the comedy game.
Okay, yeah.
It's kind of like, you kind of put in your graft in like the smaller gigs, and then you kind of reach a point where it pays full time, or like most of your money's coming from comedy, so you don't have to do some
That can work like that, yeah.
other stuff in it. So when did you kind of go from boat stuff and other hustles to being like, cool, I can just make most of my bread from comedy?
So I started comedy when I was 18. I was doing it all throughout university, and then in my 21 out of uni, I found a boat, and I was working on the boat. But I was always doing comedy just throughout that time. And for me, it was more of a thing of, maybe I could have gone full time earlier than I did, but just that lack of safety net always scared me.
Have you seen The Office US?
Yeah.
All 9 seasons?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Don't say that, bro. What, are you hating on when Scott?
Oh, Michael Scottley's, yeah, of course.
I still think the last two, they're still better than most other shows. They're just not as good as...
It's a lot of like, why do I need to be watching this? That show taught me to like not finish shows.
Nah, I finish it, but I do understand why people have that reservation. But why I mention it, because remember when Andy Bernard has this dream of like becoming a singer, and he's like, you know what, and he gets offered a part-time job, and he's like, nah, I need to burn these bridges.
Yeah.
So he like poos on his manager's car or something,
right.
Swears at him and shit. And
yeah.
Burns them bridges, innit?
It wasn't that drastic on the boat. I just had to give him my notice, really. I didn't need to shit on the boat, man.
Were you regional manager though?
No, I wasn't regional manager.
Might have felt the need.
If I was high up on the boats, like if I was driving the boat, I don't know. Maybe I would have drunk and driven. Do you think that's as taboo as drinking and driving in cars? Drinking and driving on the boat? I think
boats would be more like planes where...
Because there's a lot of people.
Like, other people are driving it like through signals and satellites and shit. Rather.
Do you know a lot about boats?
I don't.
Okay.
This is why I need to stop. Well, I'll never stop watching it. But anytime you mention boat, I think of the scene where Dwight They
Do you just bring every reference back to The Office season 8 and 9?
no, this was season 2
Season 2, okay.
when they go on a boat trip,
Uh-huh.
and then Dwight thinks he's getting all this responsibility, and all he's doing is like steering some like make believe steering.
Oh, yeah.
He's steering it, but then that made me think of like boats must be. It's not like a car where you're in sole control. I don't know.
What Office scene with the car would you use it as a reference point to?
With the car, with 8 cars.
I feel like you could make any reference. You can make any reference about The Office.
There's loads. Obviously, when Michael hits Meredith.
Are you
No,
really?
there's a
This
more
should just.
niche-
Why isn't this not just the Office fan
I don't
fiction
know.
podcast?
You know, I was thinking of doing reviewing every episode, but then that's a lot.
That's over 250 episodes. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Also, what about when it's done?
I don't know.
Also, like you would have to get somebody. I guess presumably who's a fan of The Office and would have watched it.
There's bare fans.
Yeah.
There's bare people kicked off when they was going to take it off Netflix.
Really?
Yeah, I was one of them.
Why don't you do one for the British Office? That's 12.
I could do that. I've watched
Very
both of
limited
them.
shelf life.
10. Do you know what I do? I'm quite boring with how I watch TV. I just go through a cycle of US Office 1 to 9, UK Office film. People just do nothing. Alan Partridge film. Recycle back.
That's all. Wow. What?
And I chuck in some random dramas here and there. Like what did I watch? Bodyguard. That was 30.
Oh, with the guy. Oh, the Whitney Houston one.
Whitney Houston. Nah.
She's the original person in The Bodyguard.
Nah. This is some like BBC drama.
And that's the soundtrack for that.
It's not. You're thinking of another body.
You might have to edit that out because of the royalties.
Yeah.
Even that one line, bro.
We wouldn't want to infringe.
That's £56,000 that you have to pay.
Bro, that's what I don't want
That's
to do.
on you, by the way. I'm not chipping in. You owe £56,000 if you put this episode out. And I say, I did it again. It's 102 grand, bro. That's crazy.
But I'll only release it on Deezer and no one will care.
That's true.
No one will know.
No one will hear it. That's interesting, though, man. That's all you watch.
No, that, and then I just chuck in random dramas. But do you know what it is? I like funny stuff, but there's not that much new stuff that I...
It's because you're not watching. You don't know it exists.
I do. Though.
You're in a loop.
I watch a lot of like episode 1s.
Okay, you got a girl over. What would you watch with her?
Well, if she likes The Office, not that. I mean, if she does like The Office, then
You force her to watch it.
nah.
No.
I'll compromise.
You compromise.
We can watch the UK.
Consensual office watching. Oh, you can watch the UK. Why don't you watch... At this point, you might as well just go in different countries, man. Like, where you from? Like, what's your ethnic background?
India, English.
You know they got an Indian office, bro.
I don't know if I'd want to watch that.
Can you speak one of the many languages?
Nah.
No. Why don't you could learn from watching the Indian office.
I don't love The Office that much that I'm about to take on a new language.
Do you not want to see what Indian Dwight is like?
I really don't.
No?
I don't.
Fair enough. I'd love to see what Nigerian Dwight. What
I
hijinks
don't
to
know,
get up
like,
to.
The Office. I'm cool with it. Like, I get my laughs. People just do nothing as well. Probably one of the best shows made.
You like a mockumentary?
They're basically all mockumentaries.
Modern Family?
I tried that a bit. I couldn't really get into it.
No?
I watched Parks and Rec.
Like, same thing?
It was okay.
Yeah.
It was good. It weren't a bad watch, but it weren't like, I don't know if I'd binge watch it over and over.
I've met Ricky Gervais a few times. I did some gigs for him.
Yeah.
Nice dude. Do you know what you're like? This is the first time I was like ever around someone and I knew that they were a millionaire. Do you know, like, because you probably around millionaires, but you don't always know.
I think you'd know.
No, but you don't, because you don't know. But like, Ricky Gervais is there and like I'm talking to him, but I'm also like have his net worth on my phone when I'm having, and it's like 50 million.
And anyone's never done that with you off the back of your special?
Off the back of what's my net worth?
Should we check?
Let's go Michael Odewale net worth.
Check.
If it comes up with Michael O'Hare net worth, I'm leaving. I'm leaving this podcast.
Michael Owen, horse training.
Well, Michael Owen is worth at least 150 million.
150 million.
I can spend a whole night just Googling people's net worths.
Michael
That's my fun.
Odewale net worth. Michael Odewale salary income estimation.
Come on.
Your picture there.
Is my picture? What are we saying?
507,000.
Yeah. that's
They're saying you're worth $500,000, bro.
Is that all my assets?
I presume so.
Yeah, that's about right.
I don't know how they would calculate that.
My cardigan collection and my knitwear collection if you add it all up. And like, you see this Casio here?
That's a red Casio.
That's a red Casio.
Show the cameras. That's a red Casio.
Red Casio.
Show the kettle.
£100. I bought it for.
Yeah.
I've worn it in the shower and there's some scratches in it, so it's gone down to 65. But also, if you're willing to buy this, £100. Oh, this Casio I put in the right. See, I wasn't selling it properly. If you want to buy this Casio and you're watching this, I'll sell it to you face value, £110. I'm worth 507,000.
507,000.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that. That's when you know you're rich. You don't even know how much money.
That's how you. That's what I'm. Yeah, maybe you were right when you're around me. I didn't know you were that rich.
Jeez, 507,000 worth of assets.
Putting them Whitney Houston lines in now.
Bro, listen, it's on you still.
That's how the rich stay rich.
That's great. But yeah, so like Ricky worth about 60 mil, and I was like, oh man, that's crazy. And like that's how I know that I've grown, because I didn't even think about like robbing him or anything. I was just like, you know what I mean?
Did you used to rob guys?
No, can you imagine?
I couldn't imagine it.
Can you imagine me robbing?
Too much of a nice guy.
Look at these lovely cheeks. But that's also why I don't want to go to prison. But no, I couldn't rob people. No, I was a good boy. If it wasn't, do you ever wonder if it wasn't for comedy, what you'd be doing now? Well, you have employment. Actually, you just have your
job.
Respected journalist. I use some of my £507,000 to subscribe.
Some.
I pay your salary.
You do. You pay a small percentage of it.
You don't know how many subscriptions I got, but that's a crazy job, man. Football writer.
It's mainly about video games.
What the hell are you talking about?
Most of the articles I write are about Football Manager, with the odd actual bit of football mixed in.
Oh, those are the ones I skip because I don't I don't play Football Manager.
No, but I do. Actually, I wrote one the other day, and I think it's one of the funniest like sports articles I've written. Mm-hmm. And it went down okay, innit? Certain people are like, oh, I've never laughed this hard. So I was
okay, so like with comedy, you do your gig to the audience.
Yeah.
And the reaction is immediate. Ideally. So when you write an article, how do you judge the reception or whether it's gone well or not?
It depends who you're writing it for, because I got my own website. Mm-hmm. I used to do that. The reaction would be off Google Analytics, how many people are reading it.
Mm-hmm. Reading it doesn't mean liking it.
No, but there's metrics you can look at, like how long they stay on the page. So I think on average, people only stay on websites for about 10 or 15 seconds or something.
Seconds?
Yeah, it's quick.
What kind of websites people?
Just in general, like it's called bounce rate, I think, where like if you have a high bounce rate, that's bad. That means people are clicking on your website and instantly
like, ugh.
Yeah, like yuck, fuck this site.
But then like most times I don't go on websites randomly. I know what I'm going on.
Yeah, but I think it's also, then it factors in everything though. Like if you type in like, if you get a social media ad, click it. These little Amazon products get me, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like these meme pages, they get paid to put some like, you know, this thing where it's like, yo, like don't, when you're cleaning your plate, put it through this little filter and it'll capture all the food so don't go in the sink. I'm like, yo, let me just see the price. Yeah. And I'll just quickly exit off the page, things like that.
What's you bought shit off ads, just off algorithm ad, and you ever seen it and like, why'd I buy that?
Yeah, but not much. See me, bro. I'm proper Indian with my money. Like I don't buy nothing without researching it like, extensively.
I too am Indian with my money. Can I say that? I don't know. But every now and then I'll get. I bought a phone lock.
A phone lock.
You put your phone in it and it locks it. Because when you're sitting.
Passcode not enough for you, bro.
Nah, but like, do you know when you're getting distracted and you're like, fuck, like I can't not use my phone, even though it's dry, bone dry, but you just find a way. So I bought this lock and you put your phone in it. And you can set a timer for like 8 hours. And let's say for that 8 hours, I won't have access to my phone. And I thought that'd be a great purchase. It's a terrible purchase because let's say I'm choking on Cocoa Puffs again. How am I supposed to Google?
You're not, bro.
I have to wait 8 hours for the phone to be unlocked. Then I go watch 3 adverts. And then I'm going to get the video to stop me from choking. By which time I'll probably be dead. 8 hours and 30 seconds, that's like the prime time. Do you know when they say there's like a small gap to save someone's life?
Yeah.
8 hours and 30 seconds, that's the time when someone is choking. If you don't act within 8 hours and 30 seconds, statistically, 100% of people have died.
All from those.
There's some tragic stories. Someone got there 8 hours, 29 seconds.
You need to buy cocoa. Bro, you're worth 507,000. You need to stop buying like rice crackle. Like rice Krispies, bro.
I don't even know what mine are called. I buy them from a Polish shop. It just says chocolate face drops. I'm like, I don't know if this is... I feel like you renamed it for me personally, but so
Kellogg's, bro.
Yeah, so bought a phone, and I feel like if you're gonna procrastinate, you're gonna procrastinate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If it's not the phone, it's gonna be the laptop. If it's not a laptop, it's gonna be a book. It's not a book, it's gonna be your penis. You know what I mean? You're gonna find a way to distract yourself. So you might as well.
Phone lock was it, bro?
Right?
I don't think.
Am I supposed to get a laptop lock, a book lock?
Just meditate.
Penis clamp. You know what I mean? Like,
just meditate, bro. You won't need all the clamps and locks.
Yeah? You meditate?
I do.
I think we talked about this before.
I don't know. Yeah, I think we have. You know, with meditation, it's like, yeah, you proper have to buy into it. It's like, you have to buy into like, yeah, I just meditated and that was used. Because it's like you just ask, with writing, where's your payoff? Like, it's not like comedy where you get instant laugh. With meditation, you have to buy into like, yeah, that 20 minutes wasn't fucking pointless. Like, it was worth something.
So I do transcendental meditation.
That's the one Tom Brady does.
Is it?
Yeah.
Shit, man. This guy's for money. We know about the meditations.
Millionaires, bro.
But is that what the one you also do?
Nah.
But yours is also 20 minutes. So transcendental meditation, there's a lot of famous people who do it. You have to have a certain net worth bracket to qualify. But it's 20 minutes twice a day.
Yeah.
Right. And
twice, that's a lot, bro.
It's a lot. I haven't meditated once today. But you know, this is my truth. I don't want to present myself as perfect. You know, I know some influencers like to do that, but I'm real. You know, I haven't meditated once today. I did do a 10K run and an ice bath. And I did wake up at 5 a.m.
Today?
Yeah.
Raw. You strike me as a late sleeper, bro.
That was a lie. I haven't done all that stuff.
I knew that was a lie. You were up at 3 p.m.
Yeah, I was a little late. But
I didn't WhatsApp you. You'd be like, fuck, I forgot I was doing this podcast.
But here's the thing, though, and our conversation's moving all over the place, but this is fine. Let me tell you something. I'm very laid back character. And people are like, oh, he's so laid back. It takes work to be laid back. You can't just be laid back. To be genuinely laid back, you have to put the foundations in.
Yeah.
I put the work in so I can appear like I have no idea what's going on. But my third eye is open. You have to understand all the time.
Yeah.
So people don't understand. Like I work hard so I can be lazy.
That's probably why else would you work? Like you work so you don't have to.
But So I meditate twice a day, when on a good day, and that just like it's like a battery, innit? It's like it's charging you.
Saying that though, yeah. This isn't an Office reference. This is a third Michael O on Amazon reference.
Okay, please, no more Office references.
You're the one that quizzed me on
I'm going to leave. If one more Office reference, please.
No more Office. Okay. This is a Michael O reference, yeah.
Michael O.
You were saying like you worked hard, but then in your special, it's probably for joke effect. At the start where you're interviewing yourself, you're like, I got a special. I don't know if I'm special enough. So how did you get to how much transcendental meditation and X, Y, and Z did you do?
Typical journalist using my words against me to make a point. This is an attack. I thought this was I brought my green tea here. I thought we were having a nice conversation, and this is just an attack. But no, that what I said there, I got special. I don't know if I was special enough.
I thought it was for comedic. Like it was more just a.
Nah, listen, there's layers, bro.
But then it was rooted in.
It's like, basically, I'm like the Kendrick Lamar of comedy, man. Okay. There's Easter eggs dropped in everywhere, bro. Like nothing is just like when you see a Kendrick line, you're like, oh, it's never just a line, bro. Like you remember that podcast Dissect?
I don't.
There's a podcast where they dissect an album, right? And they did To Pimp a Butterfly, and just like everything was connected to something, and it was just
DNA.
Yeah.
Apparently, he mentions like 23 bits of actual things in human DNA, and I didn't even realize.
Bro, I realized because the third eye is open. So when I said, have I got a special? I got a special. I don't know if I spelled special enough. That's a double entendre. Yeah. Special in the two meanings, because you got special in terms of, it's a triple entendre. Special in terms of, special, feeling good. Special in terms of comedy special.
Yeah.
Special needs. Bro, like the oh my gosh, there's just a hat trick of bars. Like, it's deep when you deep it. But like, that comes from a place of, I think as an artist, we all suffer sometimes from imposter syndrome.
Yeah, 100.
Do you know what I mean? You'll be successful, but you're always wondering, man, am I good enough? Do you know what I mean? Or you're comparing.
A lot. Even like, I don't know if that ever goes away. Well, it probably does.
I don't think it does. I don't think it does.
I don't know if Ricky Gervais walks on stage at like whatever arena he's doing. Like, am I worthy? He probably knows it. Or
it might not be that. It might not be that, but maybe you're comparing your work to your past work, or you're thinking in your head, man, what am I going to do next? Because that's the thing about this industry. It's like, what's next? You do your special, what's next? You make a successful video, we want another one. It's an endless content machine. And people are questioning, like, can I keep up?
That's fair, yeah.
And so, like, am I special? This is my first special. Am I special enough? And then it's almost like a reminder when I go on stage, it's like, just be in this moment, do this show, let people enjoy.
So you know the special, yeah?
Yeah.
I ain't done a special, but one thing I did do is a TED Talk, yeah? And to prepare for it, I rehearsed it every day for like 2 months. Mm-hmm. Like every day, because I've never done, well, you know, in assembly, like where they read out the Lord's Prayer and like everyone takes a turn to read a line.
I went to atheist school. We didn't believe
in the other schools and that. Bro, I didn't even get the call up to read one line of the Lord's Prayer, and then they're like, you want to do a TED Talk? And I felt the imposterness, so I was like, cool, if I just rehearse, I'll be all right when I get there. And luckily it wasn't shit, so job done, innit? But how much did you rehearse for your special?
So the show I did called Black Bears Matter, hashtag, also another entendre. Oh my God.
I want to unpack that name.
Oh, the layers, man. I'm giving myself a headache, man. Oh my gosh. I need a moment. Give me a moment. Nah, that was, bro, that's my magnum opus, bro. That show there, that's Moby Dick, right? Like in English, you know when it's like the curtain is red, and it's like, it's not a red curtain. It's representing rage. It's representing anger. That's my show.
Yeah.
It's not, you think it's something, it's not just one thing. Everything has been placed for a reason. The cardigan I was wearing.
Yeah, it was a decent cardigan.
It was
how long did you prepare?
Green, envy, jealousy.
Were you in such a, is that the word stoic? Is that, not
stoic?
Stoic. You're in such a stoic state of mind that you just walked on stage and it just flowed.
I wouldn't say that. I'm an honest man. Yeah, so that special, Black Bears Matter, came out on Amazon 2022, sorry. But that was my Edinburgh show from 2019. So I went up to the Edinburgh Fringe, August 2019. If you don't know what Edinburgh Fringe is, it's like it's like a month-long festival where comedians go. I'm explaining to your listeners.
I know you are.
I'm explaining to your listeners, and like, it's a lot of middle class people go there and do well, but there are some working class people who can do well. But it's kind of like the Hunger Games. You have to kill each other and to sort of get ahead. And I managed to get ahead.
Some bodies.
Listen, you do what you have to do. And I had a good show. It went well. I got nominated for the best newcomer. And then 3 years later, Soho Theatre were like, do you want to film it? And I was like, yeah, because I think if you have a body of work, you should show off that body of work.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I've been doing comedy 10 years this year. And it's like, well, no matter what happens to me, let's say I die, I will, but we don't know for sure. But let's say I die, and that's all that's left, I can be proud.
From a non-choking related incident.
Yeah, exactly.
If you go out choking nowadays,
oh my gosh,
gone out sad, bro.
Let's say them chocolate faces, they choke me out, right? I now know that after 10 years, I have that body of work that I've done, and I'm really proud of that. And I never understood when comedians, they'd go up to Edinburgh year after year after year, but it's like, well, what? All those shows you just lost in the ether.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, no, put them together and film. Even if you're filming it yourself, I was lucky enough to have a production company come up and want to film it. But I feel like you should keep copies of your body of work. So now I have that one. So yeah, I filmed that last year, put it out on Amazon, and yeah, I don't even really know how well it's done. I've had people come up to me, say they really enjoyed it and whatnot, but I don't even care if it sold well or was watched a lot in the first year. For me, that's always going to be there to say that I've done that, and something that people can always come back to if I die under serious circumstances.
Hopefully they don't remove it, because sometimes they do. Like, obviously they take stuff.
What do you mean? Why would they remove it?
Because that's just the way these platforms work, bro.
I think
like one day, like the Hunger Games will be on Netflix. Like 2 months later, it might not.
I mean, the footage will still exist.
The footage will exist.
Okay.
And the name, unpack that name, bro. Black Bears.
Michael O. Black Bears Mountain. So my show in 2019, 2019 was a year where a lot of political unrest was happening. And I think that's when like words like woke and political activism, that's when they were kind of having a peak moment. And I wanted to write a show about how I don't really care. Or no, it was more like I'm very apathetic. I was very apathetic to a lot of stuff that was going on. And I wanted to explore my apathy. And because I was feeling guilty about it. Like, why am I not more involved in political movements and things like that? So that show was exploring that. But this is how ahead of time that show was. Next year, 2020, man. George Floyd, all them protests, all that shit was going down. So like my show was predicting police brutality before it even happened. I'm not saying 2020 was the first time police brutality happened. I'm saying I was so ahead of the curve that my show was predicting sort of where everybody was feeling a year ahead of time.
So when you write like jokes in the show and jokes in
let's take a moment to just unpack what I just said. Like a year ahead of time, all the think piece articles that you saw in 2020.
What were the articles? Like what specifically, what did you predict?
You want me to quote journalists?
No, not journalists.
You want me to give you footnotes and sources? Oh, I'm sorry I didn't come with my bibliography that I always carry on me of 2020 news articles. No, this is an attack, man. This right here, I can't believe it.
So you're saying you felt the apathy 1 year before it was
the world
2020.
Yeah. But also, because you can argue a lot of people weren't apathetic in 2020. They really...
Wait, what's the definition of apathetic? Because I'm losing track.
Apathy...
You don't care, but is it similar to...
Are you asking me because you're curious or because you don't think I know?
I genuinely forgot. I mean, I'm pretty certain it means like, not that you don't care, but...
It's almost like numb.
Empathetic means like you have empathy, then it'll be the opposite.
It's like a numbness. It's
cool. Yeah. I did think that, but I just needed a clarification.
It's like, how what's the word? What's that word where you see... Desensitized are we to going on Twitter and someone's being murdered and then we just scroll past it. We might do a little, this is bad.
Yeah.
But, you tend to scroll past it and all of that. And that show was about how heavy all of that's become. So it's like, how do you get shaken out of that? How do you...
Yeah.
Because you can't, especially in your mid-20s, at any age, but you can't just be cynical like, it's never going to change. Because like if they thought like that in the 60s, shit never would have changed. And I think it's about realizing you might not see all the change in your lifetime, but you have a responsibility to plant some seeds the same way seeds were planted for us by previous generations. We have a responsibility as human beings to plant seeds and make things a little bit better for the next set of people coming up. And not be selfish and be like, well, if I don't get to eat from this tree, then fuck the tree. The human society wouldn't have developed. Look at this table. Look at these microphones, man. This is all from people planting seeds and someone else took it further. That's technology. That's science. That's comedy. That's life. And that is Black Bears Matter, available right now on Amazon Prime. Go watch that. Understand Black Bears Matter, you understand life.
It's a good special, to be fair. I watched it. It's good.
I don't think good really encapsulates everything I just said.
It's a nuanced, it's a nuanced, articulate body of work.
I would say...
And it's also funny.
I think it's up there with the greatest pieces of British literature ever. And it's not even a book.
God, I was having this debate with one of my friends on another episode. And he was saying, basically, he believes in this thing called mental fitness, yeah?
Okay.
And he was like, mental fitness should be taught in school. So I said, cool, if something comes in, something has to go. So I said, what subjects would you get rid of if you're going to introduce mental fitness? And he was like, English literature. And then I was like, nah, but like all them Shakespeare and that, it does have some lessons. I didn't know what the lessons were, but I was sure there are some.
Your friend wanted to take out English literature in the country of England.
He was saying
for mental fitness.
His argument was, oh, we speak English anyway. Why do we need to do 2 hours of it a week? He's like, combine it with language, English language. I was like, nah, but how can you appreciate a good film? Not how, but
how is your friend's academic fitness? How is his academic? You got to be
smart still. He used to work at Google and that.
He wants to take out English literature
for mental fitness.
That's insane. Why was that the first? That's like one of the staples, English, math, science. He wants to take out a staple.
I was saying maybe geography could get cut. But anyway, I don't want to, like, the point was, what are you saying about English literature? Because you mentioned it then.
Oh, yeah. I think my special is up there with the greatest bodies of work. It's like Shakespeare and
But why are those other bodies of work
Edgar Allan Poe.
In that episode, I didn't get an answer for why we should keep English literature, so I kind of just was like, cool, scrap English literature then. Why is it so good? Yeah, your take, bro. You're up there with Shakespeare.
Did I not? I said about the seeds and the life and the. I was saying it, but I was spitting, bro. It's like Kendrick. If the bars go over your head, I can't help it, man.
You know what?
I can't save everybody, man.
I was listening to J. Cole, yeah? You know that song For Your Eyes Only?
Yeah.
I didn't clock till, and I've listened to this over like 100 times. I didn't clock till recently. I thought it was for his daughter, but it went over my head. It's for like, again, I could be wrong. I think it's for his best friend's daughter.
Yeah, that's very clear, actually. I think he says it at the beginning of that's not one of those deep things where it's like,
my head.
But there's nothing to go over your head. He says it clearly in the song, bro.
No, because he jumps from like
that's like
perspective and
oh shit. Did you know that, bro? It's in the title. It's in the title of the thing.
No, but I swear that the previous verses are about his daughter, or is it all just about his best friend's daughter?
I mean, I think at the end of the song he says, "This is for your daughter."
Oh.
But hey, man, listen, watch my special again. Because I don't think you got it the first time.
Maybe. I don't know if I got all the Easter eggs, bro.
Bro, there's too many, man. I don't even know how many there are in there. That's some. You know when you're like your brain is outworking you.
Yeah,
it happens to me all the time. I have to take breaks.
Life of a genius.
That's why I take cold showers.
Cold shower? Do you actually?
I do.
I think that's a lie.
Why do you think that's a lie?
It just jacks me in the same boat as ice baths and 5 a.m. wake ups.
Why? So I take cold shower. You have to wake up at 5 a.m. to take a cold shower.
Do you actually? Because that's one thing that guy does. That was what we talked about before.
With the mental fitness dude.
Yeah, he takes cold showers.
Was he the one? I saw a clip. He was talking about dopamine.
Yeah, he does dopamine. Or he done it once.
What's involved in that? Let's go over it again for your listeners.
Basically, with dopamine detox, it's the only reason you do it is to see how to push yourself. To see how far you can go. So you can't do anything. You can't speak. You can't eat. You can't.
Speaking is dopamine?
Yeah. Can't speak, can't eat, can't watch TV, can't listen to music, can't read books. The only thing you can do is write. And I was like, well, hold on. If you can write, you're not really deprived of dopamine because you could write jokes or
draw some titties,
play noughts and crosses or do what you just said. Like, there's bare things you could do. And then he said he lasted 5 hours.
Wow.
Just sitting in his room doing nothing.
I guess that's like the equivalent of like 24-hour lockdown in prison.
But even then, you might have like a TV or a book or something.
No, like them guys in America where it's like, we're putting you in the hole.
Yeah. But this guy does it just to see how far he can last.
How long he can last in prison in the hole.
Or he said the first 5 hours would be cool for him. And then after that, he might crumble.
Because you can't talk. Can't. Do
you think you'd cope if you done that dopamine detox?
I admire a lot about monks and the monk lifestyle. I do see a version of myself that goes to the to one of them places where it's a silent retreat, and you meditate for 8 hours a day, and you learn how to make loose leaf tea. I think that once you learn how to make loose leaf tea correctly, like you've figured out life.
I don't even know what that is, bro. Another thing that's
It's kind of tea without the leaf, because it's loose, so it's not in the bag. So it's just the herbs.
That's just the fact. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then I know what that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't. It
didn't compute. But I would love to do that. Just like 8 hours of meditation a day. Just be at one with my thoughts.
Sometimes I meditate though, and I can't focus, and it's not 20 minutes.
Hey,
it's like 10.
That's okay. That's okay. As long as you're always coming back.
Yeah.
To the mantra. Because life is like that sometimes. This is the meditation section of the show. You know, your mind is racing sometimes. They're supposed to. That's what minds do. We collect a lot of information every day. But as long as you always come back to that sense of oneness, that's a lesson for life.
Obviously, you watch sports, innit, a lot. I know you watch sports. Like I watch sports as well, and it's like that's what they. A lot of the greats got. Your boy Tom Brady, he goes by those kind of similar mantras where it's like it's not always about the win and loss of this exact moment. The most important thing is that you keep going regardless of what just happened.
Yeah, when I'm at my Illuminati meetings with sort of the high net worth people, we have a group meditation together. It's led by Tupac, my guy. And yeah, we just talk about success and
what's the minimum requirement of wealth to get in those meetings?
Whatever my net worth was, that is the minimum requirement. 507,000.
How accurate is that figure?
507,000.
Yeah.
You see, it's kind of gauche to talk about money. Do you know what gauche means?
Nah.
No, it's a rich people word. You know, there's certain words in the dictionary you have to unlock. You know, you probably read the dictionary, it's probably blurred out. But when you got money, gauche just appears. Okay, I got a different dictionary to you. So yeah, gauche just means it's not really classy. Do you know what I mean? It's not talk about finances like that. So, but high net worth people, yeah, we just have these conversations all the time about, you know, one time just crazy, just me is on Epstein's Island. That's just like because where we held the retreat that year, we didn't want it to be, and it's not his island anymore. But it was just me and all the guys, and we're watching my special. It's crazy, man, crazy. Michael Jordan was just pointing out all the Easter eggs, like, oh shit. When you turn this way in the cardigan, and then it revealed that oh my gosh, man, it's an amazing moment, man.
Work of art, bro.
Appreciate it.
You're working on a new one.
A new hour.
A new hour, yeah?
Yeah.
Doing some work in progress.
I'm doing a couple, man. Doing a couple.
What's the kind of, because actually, obviously now you've you know, Amazon special, that's a pretty big deal. What's the kind of, is it right to say, I don't know, like, do you have expectations with this, or like, cool, I've done Amazon, I want to do Amazon again, or I want it to be streamed, or I don't mind if it's streamed? Like, what are your thoughts about that?
Me, I can't worry about the platform yet. You know, I think sometimes you can get too caught up in the rah-rahs and the ha-has. No, if anything, you just got to focus on the ha-has. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm just focused on making the show as funny as possible, making it as tight as possible. It would be my first... So, obviously, I put the special out last year, but it's a 4-year-old show.
Yeah.
So, this would be my first special, my first new hour in 4 years.
When does it become a special? When it's streamed somewhere? Is it just a show until it gets streamed somewhere?
Yeah, I guess but it doesn't have to be streamed. You can put it out on any platform and it's a special.
So would you consider putting it out on YouTube?
I would, yeah. I would. I think, you know, let's look at how we found all our favorite comedians. It was on YouTube. Do you know what I mean? It was accessible. It wasn't behind a paywall. So, yeah, it would make sense to put something out like that. And you've seen how certain people who've backed themselves in that way have benefited. You know, you look at Andrew Schultz, Adam Rowe over here, and a few other people. They've benefited from building their own fan base and putting it out. So it's something I would consider. But right now, yeah, I'm just focused on, like I said, I just want to have bodies of work that I'm proud of. So for me, yeah,
any insights into this body of work? What's
Oh.
going to be? If the last one was up there with Shakespeare and them not there, where's this one going to rank?
Bro, I wish I could tell you. I wish I could know. First of all, you just need to go watch Black Bears again because there's so much juice in there. It's like a lemon. You know, just squeeze out that juice, man. Get the rinder and then by the time you've probably squeezed out all the juice, the next one will be ready. It'll be as juicy. Do you know what I mean? I'm 28 this year.
Yeah.
Right? The way I look at it, there's no rush. As much as we all want to be successful as possible and all of that, there's no rush for me to have a second hour by 28 if it's not as good as it possibly can be. Because I look at all my favorite comedians, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Louis C.K., Kevin Hart, you know, talking about if you were to put the list of the names of the best up there, they'd be up there. They didn't have a bunch of specials before they were 30. They were still figuring out their voice by the time they were 30. And I think we're in an industry now where it's like I said, where it's like content. And let's remember what it's actually about, and it's about putting out good bodies of work. It's not about being the first to say you had something. You want to have a good thing. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? I agree with that. And it's also hard in today's day and age to be the first. And it's what are you going to, like, anything you think you're the first, it's been done. Like, I got like X million views. Well, cool. So did bare other people. I'm on Amazon. Well, cool. So's this person. I'm on Netflix. Well, so are they. Like,
yeah. Also, I think
like, what is the new thing you could do that somebody hasn't done that's on like a major scale, comedy wise, that somebody hasn't already done?
And it's like what I said about planting seeds. There is no, I don't believe.
Like maybe if you had your special on Spotify or something like that.
Even then, that's just gimmicky, innit?
It's kind of the same as like.
It's not groundbreaking. You're not breaking new ground.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, I don't believe in originality. There's no such thing as an original idea. Everything has been inspired by something that came before it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like a sample in a song. You know what I mean? You've taken the sample and you've used it in a different way, but you are building something off the back of something that somebody made a while ago, and somebody made something about something else a while ago before that. You know what I mean? So it's not about trying to be the most original necessarily. It's about executing your voice. Do you know what I mean? That's what's going to make you unique. If you tell your specific story in the best way you can, it might not be on paper the most original looking idea, but when somebody goes into it, they're going to appreciate the specifics of the story you told.
Do you think though it's like, do you think it's hot like in comedy, yeah? Finding like a unique voice? Because like you just said, yeah, I agree. It's like, you're not really going to, like what hasn't been joked about already or what topics haven't been covered. They pretty much all have in some way by some person out there. So that's like a challenge that with other art forms as well, like if you're writing a script or you're writing a poem or whatever, a lot of the things you might be feeling like, oh, it's a love poem or it's a poem about tragedy. Well, they've been done before. So like, it's that kind of...
So, do you know what show I watched the other day? Normal People. Normal People. It's about these two Irish people, white people, man and woman. They're in love with each other, but they can't really communicate, right? Just an ordinary, on paper, just an ordinary show about love. But then you watch the show, and the way they done it, it's the performances, the way it was filmed. It's like, oh, it's unique, and it's very specific to like Ireland, and you know what I mean. And it's like, it's not an original idea, but the execution has made it prestige TV everybody wants to see. So it's the same with talking about topics that have been covered before. I've not heard Ajay Rose's version of being in a specific situation before. I've not heard the little details he's put in, that only he can put in. That's what would separate it from somebody just like, how can I make a joke that appeals to the most people as possible? And what would be the things that most people as possible would laugh at? Be specific. Make it that like, if you disappear, if you go away, everyone's like, I miss that guy. Not that like, oh, he's gone, but there's 10 other things off the shelf that are the same thing as this.
But even to go back to what you're saying, like if you're just like, oh, I choke, yeah, what did you choke on though? Like if it's a cocoa puff or whatever it might be, that's better than just like, I know what you, bro. A lot of things I've researched and studied. It's like specificity. I don't even know how to say that word.
Specificity.
Being specific is like
Specificity.
That's where the gold is in anything you do.
That's
like,
in the high net worth dictionary. That's why you can't say the net word.
It's like
specificity.
Gosh. I'll never know what that word means.
No, you'll make 507,000 net worth one day. I believe in you.
All right, cool. Also,
what were you saying? Sorry, no, finish your point. Sorry, man.
No, I ended my point.
Oh,
I had a new.
I wanted to. Oh, go on.
No, basically, I was just saying, like, being specific is like, I think that's how you make the best kind of art.
100%, like, because, like, what?
That's why Kendrick is Kendrick and J. Cole is J. Cole.
I'm also Kendrick.
That's.
I'm also Kendrick. But I get your point in what you're saying.
Yeah.
But, like, that's why Kendrick can go away for 5 years. 5 years in this music industry, in this hip hop industry, come back, everyone's hooked. That's why Frank Ocean hasn't dropped an album in 6 years. Everyone's like, please, Frank Ocean, drop. Because their voice is so singular, so unique, that you can only get it from them. Whereas I don't want to name other rappers who make the same type of song that's trendy, but when they disappear, it's like, oh, I don't mind, because the sound that they've made, what they're trying to do, there's so many other versions of that. I can just fill them in. So when I say to anybody doing comedy, I try and give them out from my experience, 10 years in the game, hopefully it's worth something. Anything you do, just try and think of what is the unique angle I can put on it. Whether it's a sketch, whether it's a joke, whether it's anything. How can I put me inside of this? This video can't take place. If somebody can replicate this video, that's a bad thing.
I think that as well, where it's like I try and write jokes where it's like, if somebody said this word for word and it banged as much as it bangs when I say it, something's not quite right, because I don't think I could read a script from a Kevin Hart or someone and hopefully, like, I wouldn't get the same reaction. If you'd say, like, nobody had heard him say it, I read it word for word, I don't think it would get the same reaction.
Do you know, the other day, somebody tweeted a joke that I'd been telling for a bit. I don't think they stole it or anything, but I saw it and the tweet got decent reception, and I was like, you know what?
What's the tweet or the joke?
The joke was, I clap when the plane lands, but I'd feel like a hypocrite if I didn't, because I would definitely boo if my plane was crashing. Do you know what I mean? So that was just a simple line about airplane and whatnot. And that got tweeted, did decent reception online. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just take the joke out of my set.
Bro, you let them win.
Because it was like, do you know what? If that's such a hive mind thing where somebody, first of all, you're talking about airplanes. There's so many jokes about airplanes.
Yeah.
You run the risk of somebody's got to come across with the same sort of concept with you eventually, especially if you're not being specific, right? So I was like, you know what? What I might do is I might take that joke and really build on it, add stuff to it, add about anxiety on airplanes, try and make it personal. But that line there, I was like, you know what? If somebody else has been able to think of pretty much the exact same wording, and I'm, trusting that they didn't see me say it, that's a bad thing. That's a bad thing right there. It means the joke, it was not original enough. I didn't put enough of my voice in it.
Yeah.
Because it was pretty much the exact same wording as how I was saying it on stage. And not the cynic in me could be like, man, I got to keep that joke. I got to tell him stop doing it. I was like, no, write something better.
I posted a joke online and I got comments like, yeah, I'm going to use this one. Like, I'm going to go tell my girlfriend. I'm like, no, please, just show her my clip. Show me saying it and
tag me.
Yeah, like DM it to her. But cool, we got to wrap up soon. Yeah, quickly, let them know about your podcast, B-Tech Philosophers. Obviously,
you just did that. You just let them know. You just let them know.
What can they expect?
Oh, sorry.
Haven't come across it already.
Oh,
you know what? Actually, I was talking to one of my friends, and he's like, "Oh, who you got on next?" No, actually, he was like, "Oh yeah, I've been listening to his podcast. Do you know B-Tech Philosophers?" I was like, "Oh, what was that?"
Wow.
And he's like, "Yeah. I like that one." I was like, "Yeah, he's coming on this one."
Oh wow, I'm so proud.
Let them know about your podcast.
Yeah, B-Tech Philosophers is me and Elliot Steele, two young comics in the game, and it's basically just a space for disaffected young men to come and listen. And
disaffected is another word where I'm like, what? I'm not quite sure on the definition.
We want men to not be killing people, and we want them to come listen to laughter, and we talk about life and comedy and what it means to be a man in the 21st century. We haven't figured out that, but mainly it's also we just talk about. We try and add a philosophical lens to whatever story of the week we've got going on. But we actually are not just disaffected men. We have disaffected women too. All loners, incels and femcels are welcome and B-Tech, and everyone outside of that scope as well. So come listen to that. It's on all good platform.
I love how you say good.
So fuck Amazon, fuck Deezer. We ain't fucking with you guys. But yeah, come check it out. Come watch my special on Amazon Prime, Black Bears Matter, the greatest piece of British literature since Jane Austen. There's actually a quote from Jane Austen where she says, fucking blew my mind when I saw it. That's a quote on the poster.
You know, usually I say that I ask people to just plug their socials and that at the end, but how can you top that ending as an ending?
Jane Austen fucks on my shit, so if you don't,
there you go.
You better than what did she write? Pride and Prejudice.
I don't know, bro.
So if you haven't written Pride and Prejudice, how you gonna say my shit ain't good, you know? But also you can just find me on Instagram, Michael Odewale Comedy as well.
There we go. So yeah, that's another episode of the AJ Rose Show. Obviously, if you're listening on YouTube, like, subscribe. There's probably more things you could do to support. Comment, share it around with your friends. In
the comments, share step by step how to do the Heimlich maneuver on one person. Because that way I could save a life because they don't have to do the ads. They can just read it.
No, but then when they click the video, they'll be, oh no, you want the text version?
In the text.
Yes. Yes, do that. Comment that. Follow up the Instagram page, the AJ Rose Show. It's on TikTok as well. I'm on socials as well. That's my name, AJ_Rose. And yeah, that's another episode. Big up all the listeners. See you next time.
That was fun, man.
That was good, bro.